This week's Parashat is Parashat Lech Lechan. Rabbi Yoshiyahu Pinto, the great rabbi from Damascus, from the 1500s, and a sefer called Kesef Nifhar, tells us an important idea. We know Bereshit bara Elokim, Hashem created the world. Our rabbis tell us Bereshit b'shvil Reshit. Bereshit is the Torah, for the purpose of fulfilling the Torah. That's the whole reason to create this world. So a person might think that man, who's responsible for all 613 mitzvot, is on a greater level than women that are less responsible. And Rabbi Yoshiyahu Pinto tells us it's not true. It's not just ladies are just as great as men. They could be even greater, like we find in next week's parasha. When Hashem tells Avraham, listen to your wife Sarah, the rabbis tell us that Sarah's level of nevuah, her level of prophecy, was even greater than the level of Avraham. Why is that so? A lady in her own responsibility in life could be as great, if not even greater. We see in the pasuk in this week's parasha, Hashem tells Avraham, Lech Lecha, go. And the pasuk tells us, who did Avraham take? Ve'et hanefesh asher asu b'Haran. Our rabbi tells the people that he was mekarev, all the people that he brought close to Hashem, they came with him as well. So Rabbi Pinto asks, if you look at the words of the pasuk, it doesn't make sense. Tanefesh asher asu means, of course, we know Avraham and Sarah, asu is plural. They did it together, they worked together. But why do you say the nefesh, singular? This one singular nefesh that they both together made. If it's a lady, then Sarah brought her closer. It's a man, Avraham brought him closer. So it should be the nefashot, the plural. Why does it say nefesh? And Rabbi Pinto tells us because it was a partnership. Avraham did his responsibility when it came to the man, and Sarah fed him as well. Or if it was a lady, Sarah brought her close, and Avraham gave the support to be able to bring that food so she can feed them and mekarev them. Together they worked. So that one nefesh is a partnership, asher asu, that they both did together. And that was the greatness of Sarah, that she followed along. She was the support system on what her husband Avraham wanted to do in life. And with that, Sarah became great, as Avraham and even greater. We know by the when the passing of Sarah, it says that Avraham came lispod et Sarah v'livkota. So Rabbi Pinto says, why does it say he came to eulogize Sarah and cry for her? He came to eulogize and cry for Sarah. Why is Sarah's name mentioned in the middle? And Rabbi Pinto says, because Avraham came for two purposes. Lispod lis Sarah, to eulogize this great, enormous Sadeket Sarah. And then of course Livkota as a husband. She was an enormous giant. That's why Avraham went out of his way to go and purchase that land of Me'arat HaMachpelah, which is going to be a place of the greatest people of our history, all the Avot. But Avraham had to make sure that Sarah, this great woman, she needs to be there just as well, because the position of a great lady in this world is not just as great as her husband, sometimes can be even greater. And we find it by Miriam as well. When the Jewish nation was in the Midbar, they received benefits. They had the Ananei HaKavod, they had the clouds protecting them, they had the man, and then they had the Be'er, the water. One came because of the Zechut of Avraham, one came the Zechut of Moshe, and the Be'er came because of the Zechut of Miriam. Miriam was on the same great level as being able to bring Zechut to the Jewish nation just as much as Moshe and Aaron. And that's why the Midrash tells us that just like the Torah was given with the letters of Aleph through Taf, so too Shlomo HaMelech, when he praises this great woman of Eshet Chaya, he uses the system of starting with an Aleph, each pasuk through Taf, praising the greatness of this Eshet Chaya, because just as the Torah was given Aleph through Taf, same too to praise this great lady, she deserves the Aleph through Taf. And Rabbi Pinto tells us that it means that the greatness of such a great lady is as if she accomplished, she fulfilled the entire Torah from Aleph through Tav. One would think, perhaps, like we see in the world, a Kohen who's more responsible, he has more abilities, he's much closer to Hashem, he can go into even the Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holies. A Levi is a step back, he's less holy. and then a Yisrael, which is even a step back. So the more responsible you are, the more closer you are. But it's not so here when it comes to a lady. A lady can be just as great as her husband, if not greater. The responsibility of all of us is to respect each one's place. Of course, a lady's accomplishments in life is not shown as much as the man. But just as much as the man is a Ish Hayel, he has to sacrifice, he has to fight that Yetzirah for the 613 mitzvot that he's constantly fighting him not to accomplish. Same to the ladies called it Eshet Hayel, a warrior. Rabot Banot Asu Hayel, she's called that warrior in her same status of what her position in life is. But all her accomplishments comes out hidden. But it's only seen when the greatness of the husband is shown, when he's sitting with the great people of the city, like it says in Eshet Hayel, when her children, Kamu Banea, when they rise up, that's where her greatness is shown. And that's the greatness of an Eshet Hayel, that we learn that it was a shutfut of Abraham and Sarah in this week's parasha, and throughout Sarah was able to support her husband, bring in a tremendous amount of zechut, and because of that becomes such a great lady, if not greater in Refuah than Abraham Avinu. We should all have a beautiful Shabbat, respect each other's roles in life, because each one has a great responsibility and could accomplish the same, if not more, heights. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have a beautiful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.